Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Yixuan kit is finally out, so let's talk about it. Is she on Miyabi level or stronger? Well, I can tell you one thing, that her signature has been updated to 743 base attack, and this seems to be another standardized base attack tier for special tag characters. Her attribute is Auric Ink, basically a special version of Ether, and her specialty is Rapture. Do not have energy, neither pen ratio, so basically pen ratio and energy regen stats have been replaced with sheer force and rage regen stats instead, because rapture agents will generate 2 rage per second with a max rage of 120. Do note that Yixuan kit is quite complicated and also very flashy. There might be some things I misunderstood or missed out, and if that's the case, feel free to write it within the comments down below. Smile. And now let's begin with her kit. But actually before that, I should also point out that Rapture attack to sheer force has a conversion of 25%. This effect does work both in and out of combat. So for example, let's say Lucy attack buff, 600 attack would be 100 sheer force, and characters like Pani Hu, they already provide 450 sheer force buff, which would be equivalent to 1800 attack if it would be an attack buff on Rapture character. That means that Pani Hu sheer force buff will be quite valuable for somebody like Yixuan. So now let's finally talk about her kit. I guess I'll start first with her core passive. Do note that this is machine translation because the actual English kit is very incorrect and we had to translate it from the Chinese version. Yixuan will gain additional sheer force. Yes, it's not penetration but sheer force based on their maximum health. Yes, she does scale on HP, so the more HP you have, the more sheer force she will get. As for the rage mechanics within the core passive, whenever you enter combat, Yixuan will immediately have a full bar of rage, and triggering a perfect dodge will restore an additional 5 rage points. Yixuan can perform rage consuming abilities even when the rage is below the required threshold. However, if you do that and the rage drops to 0, then Yixuan will enter a deficiency state for 10 seconds, and while within this deficiency state, she cannot recover rage normally, and she can only get it back via specific abilities or by using things like her normal attack enhanced Grand Tai Chi formation. Also, after the efficiency ends, Yixuan recovers 40 rage points. And yes, there's also more to the core passive. When consuming rage, Yixuan accumulates talisman value at the rate of 0.5 points per rage point consumed, and when you have sufficient talisman value accumulated, Yixuan can release an additional ultimate skill. Yes, Yixuan effectively has 2 versions of ultimate. One is with the decibel, and then another one, from my understanding, where you have enough talisman value accumulated plus the decibels. So she effectively has 2 different ultimates. There is more to her core passive as well. The core passive will also provide sheer damage bonus to plenty of her abilities, like her normal attacks, special attacks, and so on. Also, the damage from these skills will be increased by 60%. Also, her special ultimate variation, where you not just want decibels but also that talisman value accumulation. She will also gain from that one an ultimate charge, and you can consume an ultimate charge to release a specialized normal attack enhanced Grand Tai Chi formation. Do remember that this specialized normal attack thingy will also recover rage, and it will help you, especially if you're in the deficiency state, so you can get out of deficiency state very easily. Then we can talk about her additional ability. Her additional ability is very interesting. It either requires a stun character or being paired with a support and defense character. So now you guys might think that this is very restrictive, and I do agree. However, the panda Pani Hu should be on her banner, and technically you could play panda with Yixuan plus another support or a stunner such as Yufufu. Speaking of additional abilities, I would like to plug this in very quickly. It looks like they're changing all their characters' additional abilities to add extra conditions to include Rapture agents. So this is pretty good to see. I'm happy to see that they're willing to retroactively change old character additional abilities, so it's not as restrictive with the newer units, especially new class, because that was one of my concerns, and I'm happy to see they're willing to do this. However, do know that Nicole additional ability has not been updated. Only Pulcher, Koleda, Astra, and Lucy had their additional abilities updated to also include Rapture agents, just as a heads up. So now let's go back to Yixuan additional ability. As for its effects, whenever a teammate releases their ultimate ability, Yixuan will continuously recover 3 rage points per second for 10 seconds. So by having this additional ability, you will also accumulate more rage faster. And also when Yixuan is switched out, she will automatically perform a lightning strike. I assume this extreme support would mean something like quick assist or assist follow-up, but nevertheless, she will perform this attack that will also additionally recover 10 rage points. Also, after activating her own ultimate ability, Yixuan critical damage will be increased by 40%, I assume, for that ability itself. So additional obviously is quite important to have because it will give you extra rage generation and also boost your ultimate damage, do quite a lot of damage, very likely. Now let's go over her basic attack, but before that, I would like to let you know that a lot of you guys who watch me are not subscribed. If you like to support this small channel, feel free to subscribe, smile. Now let's continue with the video. So for her basic attack, she does perform up to 5 stacks. However, during the 5th stage of the attack, you have the ability to perform a perfect dodge by the looks of it. Also, after this perfect dodge, you can activate her normal attack Grand Tai Chi formation. Do know that this is not the enhanced version of it, which you can only use after you used her specialized ultimate. Also, from my understanding, this attack will allow you to perform the 5th stage of her normal attack immediately afterwards. You do have an interruption resistance increase during this move. As for the enhanced version of this Grand Tai Chi formation, you can only use this version whenever you possess the ultimate charge, and this version should do more damage. Also, this version, as already mentioned, does recover rage, specifically 10 points per second for 3 seconds, so this one will give you quite a lot of rage back. Also, you'll be completely invincible during this move, and after this move completion, you will automatically release the 5th stage of her normal attack. As for the normal attack Wing Burst, this could also be the attack that does happen after the Grand Tai Chi formation. I'm not necessarily certain about this. Feel free to correct me within down the comments below if you have any additional information regarding this one. As for her special skill, she has a regular special attack. I don't think it's anything particular, but the X special version can only be activated when you have enough rage. I'm not necessarily sure how much rage you need to have, but it's very likely like 40, 60, probably something like that. This X special attack, you'll be able to actually charge it up by holding it, and then you can release it to do a big wing uppercut attack. And while you're charging, if you do get attacked by an enemy, you will automatically block enemy attacks. So this could also be used for strategic blocking of the enemy attacks and then like do a big attack back towards them. And also, if you do charge it at a certain time when it flashes, you'll also get an extra talisman attack. Also, it specifically says that if you're attacked at the moment the move is activated, you become immune to that damage, increases the move interruption level to match the attack. It will restore 12 energy points, and you can also activate assist follow-up from my understanding. So this can effectively be quite strong, especially if you time it at the right time. And also, if the wing uppercut hits an enemy flashing red or yellow, you will also become immune to that damage, increase the interruption level, and also restore 12 rage points, and also have the ability to tap into quick assist follow-up. So basically, her X special skill, if you time it right against enemies, you can get quite a lot more out of it by the looks of it. She also has another variation of her enhanced special attack. This one also requires a certain amount of rage. I would assume you probably need more rage. And this one will launch an energy ball. And also when this move is activated, you'll be able to trigger a perfect dodge. And after triggering it, you can also enter extreme vision. I assume this kind of like slows down the time a bit and stuff. Also, we will have an invisibility effect when this move is activated. There's also a bit more to her X special skill, specifically the enhanced special skill, the detonation part, because you throw the energy ball and then you can also detonate it yourself by the looks of it. Now let's go over her chain attack and ultimate. Her chain attack seems to have a special property because you will follow it by a wing burst. Wing burst, if you remember, it's part of her normal attack stuff. So perhaps that is kind of connected more than I originally thought. As for her ultimate, like already said, she has effectively two versions of the ultimate. The first ultimate one is just having enough decibels. Also, her ultimate, besides doing a lot of damage, will also evenly distribute the health of all characters in the team. This is quite an interesting thing. Effectively, you could heal up some characters this way, so that's kinda neat. As for her second ultimate, it requires, I assume, her decibels plus having enough of this talisman value. This version seems to do even more damage. However, this version does not specify that it does evenly distribute the health of your team, just as a heads up. As for her dodge, it seems to be regular stuff at first glance, nothing special within itself. And same with her assist skills, they seem to be regular stuff. I guess I can also go very quickly her Mindscapes. Feel free to pause the video if you want to read them in more detail. I'll mostly talk about the first two Mindscapes. Let's start with M1. Upon entering the battle, immediately gain 120 talisman value. I assume this will allow you to use her ultimate skill variation, which requires talisman value plus decibels right away from the get-go. Also, if you use this variation of the ultimate attack, it will immediately remove the deficiency state, so it also does make it easier to play her, I guess, and also being able to start with her strongest ultimate variation right away from the get-go. And on top of that, the critical damage dealt by her ultimate is increased by 20%. As for her M2, during the third or fifth stage of her basic attack, or while performing a dodge counter, she will do an additional lightning strike attack equal to a percentage of her sheer force. And also when lightning strike hits an enemy, it will apply penetration effect to the enemy, stacking up to 6 layers, lasting 10 seconds. And whenever you use the ultimate, either variation of it that hits the enemy with this penetration effect stack, for each layer of penetration, it will increase the sheer damage of that move by 3.5%. So that would be, I believe, 21% sheer damage increase. As for the rest of the Mindscape, like I said, feel free to pause it and read it in detail for yourself if you like to do so. There are also some drive disc changes, but basically the first set duration has been increased from 5 seconds to 15 seconds, and the second set has critical damage buff decreased from 18% to 15%, and the duration increased from 8 seconds to 15 seconds. We also do have some information regarding her V engine. It does have a main stat of 30% HP. As for the passive, critical rate increased by 20%. When the wearer releases X special attack, the character gains the amplification effect, which can be stacked up to 2 times and lasts for 12 seconds. When entering combat, 2 layers are directly gained, and the duration is refreshed when repeatedly triggered. Each layer of amplification effect increases the weather, either damage caused by 10%, the either sheer damage caused by the ultimate increases by 18%. So this V engine is pretty much exclusively just for issue 1. It's probably gonna end up being very good for her because realistically, I don't think we're gonna have that many Rapture V engine options anyways. I guess as a little bonus, we can also talk about the new Bangboo character, sure. So for the new Bangboo active skill, he will throw a stone ball at the enemy, and this attack will bounce between enemies. So that's kind of interesting, right? As for its additional abilities, we have 2 or more characters from Yunku Summit faction. The damage caused by this Bangboo is increased by 25%, and when the agent launches an ultimate, cooldown of its active skill will be reduced by 4 seconds and can be triggered up to 2 times. So basically, you will be able to spam its attack quite more often. I mean, it's fun. It's interesting, I guess. But yeah, overall with issue 1, she is a very special character indeed. Her animations are very, very, very flashy. I would say her kit is quite complex, and as we learn more about about her. I will make another video in the future talking about her value and how to go about it. But from the first impression, I would say as an anniversary unit, I believe this is going to be a very strong pickup. And I would recommend for you guys to save your gems to get this character. Even if you do not plan to get Yu Fufu, I believe she will work perfectly fine with Pan Yuhu, the panda guy, plus support, and it should be okay. So yeah, I guess this is it for this video. If you have any questions or would like to add anything yourself, feel free to write it within the comments down below. And of course, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like and all that stuff. Feel free to drop by my streams. I stream every single day on Twitch and YouTube. And yeah, that's really it. I wish you a wonderful day and see you in the next video. Ciao.